So this is part two of how I've been getting Google SketchUp models into Clip Studio. Now, starting with a viewpoint, I would ordinarily compose the Google SketchUp model with the shadows turned on and really just do a screen grab using the snipping tool. Now, since Windows has changed this tool a little bit, I think it's still available in Windows 10, but they're supposed to be replacing it with a more general tool. But this still works, and once that's copied to the clipboard, you can take it to Clip Studio, move it to where you need it, scale it to where you need it. I mean, that's easy enough with the scale, rotate, transform. That becomes the layer. Most of the time I'll change the layer color, maybe change the opacity depending on how light or dark or how much, contrast there is in the image. But something nice and faint, sort of like Blue Line Pro. But this is an old tried and true method. Since the release of this Clip Studio Modeler, you're able to bring in simple objects, FBXs, OBJs, and other objects, object formats. But you start out with a new document type, and there are two here. Yeah, if you're familiar with Clip Studio, you actually have little mannequin dolls that work a lot like the ones in Poser, if you've ever used Poser. But for now, we're just going to create this first option, which is just create 3D object. Now, it isn't obvious at the top menu level where you do this, but the easiest way to bring in a mesh is to use the object configuration panel, use the root node second option here, and look for the folder icon. Now, I've already exported. You can export different formats from Google SketchUp, more recent versions of Google SketchUp, but I actually had to use this program, Mesh Mixer. That's the default bunny. I actually had to export my motorcycle initially in Mesh Mixer, only because the version 2015, I only have an extension for exporting STLs, and the standard 3D model export options are pretty limited in 2015. You only got these two, Google Earth format, which only Google Earth uses as far as I know, and a Collada format, which a lot of programs open, but unfortunately the Google Modeler doesn't, or excuse me, the Clip Studio Modeler doesn't. So once this is in here, you'll notice that it's not, if we use our navigator up here, it's not at the origin. In other words, it's not at 0, it's not at the ground plane, but we don't have to actually worry about that. That'll be taken care of in Clip Studio Paint. But what we do have to do is register this as a material for Clip Studio Paint to be able to see. And that's done at the File menu. So once we do this, I want to keep things nice and organized. And this is a duplicate folder structure as the one here. So just keep it all organized. I would navigate to Small Object, Vehicle, make sure Vehicle selected, and give it a name. All right, so this indicates that this is actually available now for Clip Studio Paint to use as an object. And what we're going to do is go to Material, look under our Vehicle menu, make sure that refreshes. You have to, if you see what I did there, is to go back and forth from the Material folder. And now we're able to draw this on the canvas. So these tools immediately, it's really in your face there. So once we get this onto the canvas, we can kind of use these first three tools to navigate the camera around where we are. And in order to get the shadows correct, we're going to ground the model to the floor surface with this other menu. So now that that's on the ground, in order to see this, I want to switch tools away from the 3D object manipulator and just to the layer tool. So there's our object. Now this tool only manipulates the layer itself in 2D, and to get back to our camera tools, we can get back using the 3D manipulator. So that's it. Other than changing a few options, this would be enough for me to start drawing. I would probably, this is an easy setup to do. Take the layer color, maybe make it a little more transparent, and that's where I would start drawing, and that's what I'm going to show you in the next video. So thanks for watching.